So yeah, thanks for sharing your experience and expertise for me into a book. Yeah, I rarely find a book about CIO, definitely. So my first question then, because you have assumed this role for quite a number of years. So what exactly the role of a CIO actually?
Okay, let me explain. Before I assumed the title of CIO, not just because I wanted the title of CIO. When I took on the IT job as head of IT, I told the CEO, who actually took a gamble on me. He actually selected me. So I said, okay, I have your backing. I want to change things. Firstly, I am not an IT person. I come from the user side. So I understand HDB business. So I want to be involved in the business, and I would like to then apply IT to the business. In a way, without knowing that is a CIO job, I did the CIO job. So without knowing what is actually the CIO job, I took on the title called the CIO. And then I started. The difference is, of course, the CIO is not a techie. Perhaps a techie can also hold a CIO job, but his main job is not technical. His main job is to support the business. Exactly at the time in 1990 is the time when the IT moved from the back office to the front of the business around the world, actually, not only in Singapore. So that's where the IT person now come out and say, we're no longer just doing the number crunching or the systems development at the background. We are coming here to support and enable the business. So to answer your question, the CIO is a person who uses IT to facilitate and enable a company so that it becomes more competitive and it becomes more profitable. If you only just do the job of supporting the business, then strictly speaking, you may be called a CIO, but you're not a CIO.
So you mentioned a couple of times that CIO's job is actually to support the business. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit. What do you mean by support? Do you like provide, for example, your case last time is help desk, customer service, or running just mainframes and servers and things like that?
Yeah.
So what exactly do you mean by supporting the business?
By supporting the business, firstly, you have to understand what is the business vision, what is the mission, and what are the core values of the organization. Whether the IT is organized in such a way to enable each of these core value to be realized and each of the objective of the organization to be executed. So that's how we support the business. We think in terms of the business of the company instead of what the users need. In the past, it's always the user, our customer, so we have to make our user happy. When I became the CIO, I said, no, our customer are HDB's customer. Only one customer. The whole organization, only one set of customer. So common set of customer, we work together with the end user as business partners, and together we will serve the customers. This is a change of mindset. Very important change of mindset, because the IT people, technical people, they like to be at the back talking to machine. They don't like to talk to people. So I have to twist that around and say, now, if the user have no idea what to do to serve the customer better, we come up with ideas. And that's how we bring IT to the front. However, of course, we always must recognize that the user, the business heads, are the one responsible for the business. So although we can offer them ideas, please do not take away the credit from them. Give them the due credit, because ultimately the risk is borne by them, the risk of serving the customer. We only enable them to do it better.
So I know that it is probably a little bit of challenging situation to describe the many few things that a CIO needs to do well. But if you can look into maybe your experience or the best CIOs available out there, what are the good traits of a good CIO? Maybe execution, prioritization, and things like that. But maybe if you can summarize and share with us, what do you think are the good traits?
The most important skill set that the CIO has to have is actually project management. Today we talk about project, program, and portfolio, right? Actually, the CIO is the chief portfolio manager of all the information systems in the organization. The most important trait he has is project management, because you have to execute everything according to budget, according to schedule. This is one of the most important things. The other thing is, of course, he must be able to speak the business language. Because if you want to go and talk to the business people, you can't show them all your technical jargons and all that. They won't understand what you're talking about. For example, we want to introduce RPA. What is that? Now we're into the fourth industrial revolution. They won't understand all this. So we have to cut the techno speak and speak confidently to the end user. Another important thing is we have to earn our right at the table. That means I told the CEO I want to be part of the management team. I mean, if the management meets, I want to be there too. So then you have to earn your right to be at the table. So I told all my staff that first we have to do our things right to earn our speaking right. If you don't even do our own bread and butter, keep the lights on operation well, then people will not trust what we say. We don't have the speaking right to say that we want to implement this system, that system. You can't even do anything right. How can you tell us you want to do this system or that system and you want to spend how much money and all that? So in the initial days when I took over, I already have to get all my operation ship shape, get them all battle ready, and getting the lights on is the most important before we can now talk about enabling. Another thing important is know how to keep your promises. That is very important because there was a survey done, I think, by one survey organization, one management consultant. They say among all the top management position, the CIO has the shortest lifespan. That's why I said in my book, sometimes we call them career is over, CIO. It's because a lot of us overpromise. Good customer service means you deliver more than what you promise. Don't promise so much. Promise the sky and deliver the earth. So those I think are the few important things that differentiate a good CIO from a not so good CIO.